Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to talk about narcissist terms and their definitions when referring to the narcissist community. If you're new, if you are a narcissistic abuse survivor and you're just now figuring out that maybe your ex was a narcissist, and you're watching videos or reading things or reading books or you're in a support group or whatever, and you hear certain terms, maybe you're not sure what they're talking about, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. One of the first things that you'll hear people refer to is the word supply, and supply is basically who you were and who I was. It is what narcissists want. They want supply so that they can get fuel. And narcissists don't think of us as people. We're not human beings with emotions. We're almost like an appliance. We're like a refrigerator or a blender to them. We're just something that they use. So we're the supply that they use to gain fuel. So you'll hear the word fuel, and that goes hand in hand with supply. You'll hear those terms often. I know it sounds weird to refer to a person as supply, but that really is the proper terminology when you're dealing with these narcissists. They don't think of us as people. We're not individuals. We're literally something that they use to get what they want, and they're after fuel. Fuel is it's like air. We crave air. We need air. We need air to survive. They need fuel, and this could be sex, money, a roof over their head, compliments, whatever it is that the narcissist is after, that is their fuel. Um, and then you'll hear the term new supply, and this is the person that they date after us. Narcissists always find themselves in a relationship right away, right after yours has ended. They are immediately in a new relationship. And their new boyfriend or new girlfriend is what people refer to as their new supply. So that's something that you will hear all the time. And then the cycle, love bomb, devalue, and discard. This is something that you will hear a lot as well. Love bombing is exactly what it sounds like. You're bombed with love. This is the first stage of being with a narcissist. When you got with the narcissist, it was wonderful. They appeared like a knight in shining armor. They were being romantic. They were being over the top loving. They were being a gentleman and holding your door open and just being really chivalrous and sort of being completely perfect. This is the person that you fell in love with. This is the person that you first met. The next stage is devalue. And that is when they start being cold, being distant, um, not having sex with you, not being affectionate. Maybe this is when, if it's an abusive relationship physically, this could be when the physical abuse comes into play, or the emotional abuse. In the love bomb stage, in the beginning, they're treating you amazing. And then now in the devalue stage, that's when they really just strip everything from you and they tear you down. And some people do that with physical violence, and some people do that with words, and some people do that with actions. They might start having affairs during this stage. They might hit you. They might say mean, nasty things. They might just be cold and distant, give you the silent treatment. This is something that my ex did all the time. He loved giving the silent treatment because he knew that that hurt me the most. Narcissists study you, and they know what will hurt you the most. And so that's what they'll do, okay, during this devalue stage. And then the discard stage, this is the last stage. And it's when either they discard you or you discard them. So it basically means that's the end of the relationship. And, but a lot of times they'll circle back around. So the narcissist might break up with you. And then after a couple weeks or a month, they'll come back. And then they start doing the love bombing again. Only it's not as intense. They call it love crumbing. So instead of being bombed, it's more a trail of love crumbs. It's enough to get you hooked again. So it's not as intense as the original cycle of love bombing. And so you'll notice that the cycle with a narcissist is just the love bomb, devalue, and discard over and over until the relationship finally comes to an end. You'll hear the term projection, and this is something that narcissists love to do. Of course, it's something that my ex did as well. And it's where basically they accuse you of doing the things that they are in fact doing. So if your ex or current narcissist starts saying that they think you're cheating, you know, it's because they are. A lot of times you'll find them actually accuse you of being selfish or being a narcissist. This is something common as well. My ex actually said I was a narcissist. He said two of his friends were narcissists. He said his boss was a narcissist. So my ex was always accusing every person in his life of being a narcissist. And that was him just projecting his actual character flaws and everything onto others. So they might accuse you of cheating, being a bad person, being selfish, using them for something. And, you know, it just means, a good way to figure out what a narcissist is doing behind your back is pay attention to what they accuse you of doing, because that's usually what they are, in fact, doing. So you'll hear that term. And then you'll hear the term future faking. This goes back to the love bombing. Future faking is exactly what it sounds like. They fake a wonderful future with you. So they'll tell you that they want to marry you. They'll tell you that they want to have children. They might even pick out baby names and do these kinds of things. And this is all just a ploy. They don't mean any of this. They are faking an entire future with you. They're promising you the world, and it's never going to happen. Um, my ex, of course, said that we were going to get married. He said how he wanted to have children. We actually picked out names. If it was a girl, we were going to name her Rainbow. And if it was a boy, we were going to name him Bear. Kind of weird, wacky names, I know, but those were the names that we came up with. Of course, luckily for me, we didn't have any children because that would have just been a nightmare. He's a deadbeat dad and just a terrible person. But they will fake these futures with you. So it's not uncommon. They will, in the very beginning, when they're love bombing you, they will tell you everything. They basically sit and figure out what you want. And then they tell you, oh yeah, that's what I'm going to give you. If you want to get married, oh, they'll promise marriage. If you want to have a family and have children, oh my God, guess what? They want to have kids with you. Oh, let's get a house together. Let's do this. We're going to grow old together. This is all future faking. These are things that they know they're not going to do. They know that they're lying and manipulating. And they're basically just telling you what you want to hear so that they can get what they want. This kind of overflows into mirroring. You'll hear that term. And that's basically them imitating you. They'll watch you. They will have every single thing in common with you under the sun. So you'll notice that if you have a favorite song, oh, that's their favorite song. If you have a favorite food, they'll go, oh my God, me too. I love eating that. If you have a certain political stance, oh yeah, I'm that way too. And this goes to the future faking, whatever your dreams of the future are, if you want marriage, children, that kind of thing, or if you want to travel, they'll say that they have that's their perfect image of the future as well. So they mirror every single thing you do. They'll mirror your mannerisms. They'll copy your language a lot. If you, talk a certain way, use, certain words or have a certain humor, watch certain TV shows, whatever, they will copy all of that. And they appear just like us, which is a good tactic because it's a way to get us to fall in love with them quicker because we think that we have found somebody who's so similar to us. And you'll notice that when they move on to the next supply, when they get with the new boyfriend or girlfriend, the narcissist almost seems like a completely different person because now they're mirroring a new person. So the new supply isn't us. So they're going to have a different personality. They're going to have different religious views, political views, etc. And so you'll notice that the narcissist all of a sudden being religious. Maybe they weren't religious with you and now they're talking about God. Maybe they were a Democrat. Now they're a Republican. Maybe they were vegetarian and now they're eating meat. Whatever the case may be, they are just imitating the new supply. So all narcissists will mirror. Your narcissist mirrored you, mine mirrored me. And this is something that they'll go on doing It just sucks the victim, the supply in that much more. And I have to say, it is a great tactic, unfortunately. You'll hear the term flying monkeys. And this means basically people who are taken in by the narcissist. They believe the narcissist. They believe everything that the narcissist told them about you. You know, they think that you're this awful person. And they go around supporting the narcissist blindly no matter what. They might, talk crap about you on social media because they're just believing what the narcissist said. So, they blindly support the narcissist. And they call them flying monkeys. Sort of like, the Wizard of Oz, the flying monkeys did the wicked witch's dirty work. They kind of carried out her plans and were like her little soldiers. And that's what flying monkeys are, to us. A lot of times they carry out the narcissist's plans or whatever, or they'll trash you on social media. They blindly support the narcissist, and they kind of just go along and do whatever the narcissist tells them to do. Um, you'll hear of the smear campaign. This is something that all narcissists do. And basically, once you have unmasked the narcissist and figured them out and ended the relationship, they go on a complete smear campaign. And even if you think you're not being smeared, you are. I had no idea that my ex was going on a smear campaign until I talked to his new supply and she told me. He told her that I slept with his friend. He told her I stole his house. He told her I stole his military pension. All of these things were completely false. He never even received a military pension, and the house was in my family's name. It was a family owned home and was never in my ex's name. It was in my mother's name. And I never even was in the same room with his friend. So, how do you sleep with someone that you've never been in the same room with? So, he was smearing me and saying awful things about me behind my back to, I would assume, everyone, all of his friends, obviously the new supply, her friends. Um, they really want to discredit you. Narcissists know that now you have the goods on them. You've figured them out. You've ended the relationship. You've unmasked them in a sense. And they know this. They know, oh my God, she caught me in these lies. She figured out my secret life. My ex pretended to be an Iraq veteran. For our entire relationship, he had told me that he served 3.5 tours in Iraq and was injured, had shrapnel still in his body, and had PTSD. He went so far as to go to a year of PTSD counseling and was able to trick the doctor before she figured it out and kicked him out of the program. So the doctor at that point realized he was a sociopath. But, he had this entire secret life, and I figured it out. So I think he was panicked. He's like, oh my God, she's going to tell people the truth. And that's what's going on with the narcissist in your life. You've figured out that they were cheating, they were lying about something, because they're all pathological liars. They all make up a fake double life. They all do this. So perhaps you've figured out the lies or whatever, and they're scared to death that you are going to tell people. One of the narcissist's biggest fears is being unmasked. So they need to beat you to the punch and go ahead and discredit you and tear you down so that if you do decide to reach out and tell people the truth, you're not going to be believed because now they already have a negative view of you by what the narcissist has told them. A lot of times you'll notice that the narcissist tells people that you've done things they did. My ex cheated on me. He used me for a place to live, used me for money. And it's interesting that he was telling people that I was the one who did those things. So they will go on a smear campaign. And usually they'll flip the story and say that you were the one doing to them what they actually did to you. And you might not even know this is going on behind your back. Word might not get back to you that the narcissist is smearing you, but they 100% are. You'll hear the term gray rock. And this is for people who have children with a narcissist and they have to co-parent. Gray rock is basically being neutral. It's not texting them and having a relationship and begging for them to come back to you. But it's also not sort of telling them how they've hurt you. And you really have to be stoic and have no reaction at all. Even if you express anger to the narcissist, that still gives them fuel. So it's just called negative fuel or negative supply. So whether you're like, trying to get back together with the narcissist. If they broke up with you, maybe you want them back, or you're angry and you're cussing them out. Either way, they're getting off on it because they're evoking an emotion from you. And that's what they want. So gray rock is basically having no emotion. If you have to see the narcissist, you have no emotions whatsoever. You don't act angry towards them, you just act nothing. That is what really hurts the narcissist most, is not getting a reaction from people. Because then they feel powerless. They feel like, wow, I can't control her emotions. I can't get this response from her. So it's basically having no response. And then you'll hear no contact. This is essential. This is basically at the end of the relationship, whether they dumped you or you dumped them, you need to go no contact. And what that means is you have to completely cut the narcissist out of your life. A lot of times the narcissist will try to come back into your life if they can't get a new supply, or maybe their next fuel source isn't a good one. Maybe the relationship that they end up in after you is short-lived. Maybe in 3 or 4 months, the woman dumps him. So then he wants to circle back in your life and try to get you back into that web. That's why you have to go no contact. Because narcissists are unbelievable manipulators, and they know that we did love them. So we're vulnerable to getting sucked back in. That's why you have to go no contact. You have to block them on social media, or perhaps even shut your social media down entirely. You have to block them on your phone, get a new phone number. Sometimes even going so extreme as to move. This is what I did. I actually moved to another city. And then, of course, he showed up on my street, which was really creepy. I mean, I'm in a whole different city, and he was right next door to my house. But anyways, so narcissists, sometimes they stalk, they'll stalk you if you've gotten away or whatever. If they have a bad supply, they might try to get back with you because you were a wonderful supply and they want that again. A lot of times they will recycle their exes. This is very common for a narcissist. They sort of look at us as objects, as toys. They get done playing with us, but they don't throw us away. They put us on a shelf. And then they get the brand new shiny toy, which is the new supply, and they play with her for a while. And then maybe after 6 months, a year, however long, they get bored. It's no longer new and exciting. And then they see us sitting on the shelf and they go, oh yeah, I liked playing with that toy. That toy was fun too. So they will try to circle back into your life, and you can't let them in. If you even respond to text messages, this makes them feel powerful. They feel like, wow, even after everything I did to her and all of this time has passed and I've moved on with a new girl, she's still willing to respond to me. So you don't want to give them that power. It is essential for your healing to completely go no contact. No talking to them, no texting, no phone calls. Don't drive by their house. Don't check their social media. Um, just nothing. You have to almost pretend that they never existed, because knowing what they're doing with their life really does cause harm, and it slows the healing process. And this is something I'm guilty of. I have looked on his social media. I've talked with his new supply. So I've done this myself. I'm not an expert by any means at going no contact, because this is something that I have certainly failed at. I was no contact for several months and then got sucked back into the nonsense. Now I'm back to no contact. So hopefully this video was somewhat helpful, talking about some of the terms that you're going to hear in the narcissistic abuse recovery community. These are things that people talk about. These are words that people are going to talk about and use often. So I wanted to sort of break some of them down and, go into detailed explanations for what they all are. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.